Right. Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital, nightly strategy podcast for April 24th, 2024. Start with the 30-minute charts, the hybrid swing portfolio. All right, this is Alcoa, 30 minutes. This was yesterday's trade, exited here. It gapped down to here and then started taking off, came through the Bollinger Band mean and the edge of the dragon, so we entered. Standard risk. Ran up to the high of the day and then rolled back down. When it came and hit the VWAP, exited for about 0.3. Probably gave back too much that early in the day. AI. This was a gap up, ran up, reversed. I took the short here on returning back to the Bollinger Band mean, I thought. This sold off hard. Here was the bottom of it, came up through the R10, hit the skin of the dragon. I cashed 2R. Caterpillar, a lot of volatility early. When it rolled over, I got the owl entry. The R30 is rolling over. Dragon is rolled over. It breaks through the PSAR. Standard risk. Sold off hard to here. Came all the way down and all the way back up when it crossed the 3-day anchored VWAP. I exited here for 2R. I gave back a lot in that move, probably too much, but cash 2R. And I missed that recovery trade in the afternoon. So Caterpillar looks promising on the upside for tomorrow. Make a note. Cliff, this was a collapsing dragon because it fell below here, and orderly move for about 2R, exiting near the close of the day. That was just a straight sell-off all day. That's a continuation trade waiting to happen tomorrow. Tried the gap and go trade in CVS. It ended up scratching. No follow through. DIA. I'm going to start adopting this little where I have a thinner slice on, so you can see the entry a little more precisely. So this is after the R10 is rolled over, the dragon is rolling over, the VWAP is rolling over, the PSAR has flipped. I enter here. Standard risk. Sells off. Here's the peak of the R10. I exit at the skin of the dragon right there. So we get that trade. That's about 0.5 of an R. I missed the follow-through trade, which was this. And then there was actually another tradable move there. So I was content with 0.5. On Disney, this is no trade. Devon Energy. Oops. We got short on the collapse below the 3-period VWAP, below the Bollinger Band mean. PSAR has already flipped. The dragon is down. The R30 has rolled over. So we're short from here with a standard risk. It sells off. Here's the bottom of the R10 where it bottoms out. Take the exit at the skin of the dragon for that trade. That's the capture. That's about 1R compared to that risk. Emerging market, this was a gap fail, short, and fractional gain at the skin of the dragon. Ethereum, the currency was tradable on the short side, but you can't short ETHE. The logical places to be short here would be on this rollover when it crosses below the Bollinger Band mean or not later than the collapsing dragon, and your stop would be something like that. And then you could play this trade here. I would probably have gotten out here and taken that trade happily every day. Mexico. This one, we had that nice second day of, actually third day of momentum yesterday. It was huge. Today was a gap and drop. When it dropped the second time, I get short here as it's crossing the Bollinger Band mean and the 3-period VWAP. Sells off to there's the peak of the R10 on the downside. I exited the 2-bar high right there in order to preserve 1R. And then missed this trade here. Brazil, the 1, 2, 3 entry with a fractional gain didn't really go anywhere. Home Depot, this was a nice one. This was a gap down, crossing the Bollinger Band mean, standard risk, sold off hard all the way down. Here's the peak of the R10 was down here. It reversed. I took the exit on the upside at the skin of the dragon. That returned about 2R. Should have put a second position on in somewhere about here. Somewhere in here, there was a second position that should have been taken. Intel, this was a gap and go. So it got on board early. It rode all the way up, came down a second time. That was enough to preserve 0.3. Then that was a stop and reverse here on this rollover. Standard risk. Sold off hard. When it came back to the 5-day anchored VWAP, I took that there. I had to do that one by eyeball because the move up was so strong that it pushed the R10 very high. So I'm already short here, and that reversal off of the Bollinger Band mean, that was basically just money management, capital preservation stuff for about an hour. IP, no trade, real estate. I missed this. Oops, I missed that morning gap, sell off, and then recovery. I should have been long somewhere around in here, I believe. Then that lets us experience at least part of that move. But that should have got my attention earlier. Coca-Cola, really strong continuation. I mean, we've had this move, this move, this move in the last 3 days. Today was a gap down to here, sell off and recovery. I took that entry after it cleared the R10 peak, so that's an emerging dragon. Second position here. And then just exited near the close of the day. It never really looked back, so that was worth 5. 6R on the first position. 3R on the second position. That's a 9R trade in Coca-Cola. That has been really a successful series. It's run Buddy McDonald's. I got the short on the collapse across the Bollinger Band main. There's the reversal. I took the exit at the VWAP rather than waiting for the skin of the dragon because I wanted to preserve 1R. I missed the upside trade completely. Regional banks. So this was a big gap down and reversal. So I got long, it ran up and then started to fail. I preserved plus 1R with this exit. It bottomed out here near the 150-day VWAP and the 3-day VWAP and the Bollinger Band main. And then this gave me a 1, 2, 3 entry with a same standard risk. And then an exit near the close of the day for 2R. So that was a pretty nice little 3R cycle in regional banks. $3M, collapsing dragon short for 2R. There's the bottom of the R10. There's the skin of the dragon. So we'll take the short here to there. 2R. Merck, no trade. Microsoft. This was an intraday opportunity that basically just scratched. Marijuana, intraday, right after lunch, opportunity trade that exploded and then pulled all the way back. I kept half, which worked out to be about an R. Nike, this was here was the close yesterday. Here's the open, which sold off and then reversed hard. Entered long here with the standard risk. It ran all the way up. Here's the peak. And as this is selling off, I hit the skin of the dragon there for about 1R. There's your risk, there's your reward. NVIDIA was a owl entry short on the PSAR flip for 3R. Clean energy, 1R on the owl entry short. Palantir, owl entry, 1R on the short side. Rivian, 1R on the short side. Stop me if you've heard that before. Yeah, this is SOUN. We talked about that yesterday. This one gapped up, sold off, and recovered. So I tried this play long. And then as this came down, I basically scratched, then shorted here with that standard risk. And then that gave us this move, which is about 2R. So that was kind of an intraday reversal after a head fake. Tesla, huge gap up. I tried the second leg. You know, this opened up in here, sold off, then started to recover. I tried that when it ran up, came back, took the exit, missed the short, missed the long. But that's going to be in play tomorrow, and anything north of about 182, I think you got to be ready to play that long. Walmart, a trade of the day here. PSAR flip, standard risk. Second position as it crosses these two, the 3 and the 5-day anchored VWAP and the Bollinger Band main, and 2R in hand. That's the no-brainerest second position ever, and it did nothing but cruise north. And then I exited near the close for 1, 2, 3, 4 on the first one, 2 on the second one, Total is 6R in Walmart. Look how nice and orderly that rascal trades. Loving Walmart. U.S. Steel. Collapsing dragon short, second position short, exiting at the skin of the dragon for 4R. And XLI, beauty. Oh man, this is becoming my favorite. There's your PSAR flip. So there's the first short with a standard risk. As this just collapses further, second position, third position, there's the bottom of the R10. It reverses here. When it takes out the close on that bar, I just take that here. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4R on this one, 3R on that one, 2R on that one, for 9R. This is a good example of the synergy between the 30-minute and the 3-minute. If you look at this on the 3-minute, what you can see is the entries are here. When this thing rolls over and collapses through yesterday's VWAP, that's short. When it breaks through the 150-day VWAP and then gives you this little R10 wiggle, that's where the short is right there. And then the third one is after this R10 wiggle and after it goes below the 3-day VWAP, you get that position right there. And then when this clears the Bollinger Band mean, after that reversal, you exit right here. Let's go to the sniper trade of the day. I'm going to show it to you on the 30-minute for Coca-Cola. Because that's just, I mean, you got to be able to read that. That is the least surprising entry ever taken. It is clear. We've already had 3 days of momentum. It gapped down and then immediately rocketed north, took out the resistance level here early in the day. Standard risk, 3R second position, and just runs all the way to the top. I mean, that's the no-brainerest 30-minute chart you ever saw. Coca-Cola. Here's the traders. Kevin R's little 2-day excursion. This is where he framed it and kept half. I'm sorry, this is where he sold half, kept half. On the gap down, he exited. So his first half, 3.5 and 2R on the second half. Really nice job of framing it. He and I had a good discussion last night in cohort 2 of the coaching on how to get proficiency on both the 3-minute and 30-minute with EWW as his primary target. Got to talk to Hamad here on. All right, so here's an OR3. He cuts it quick. You could get short right there. You could get short on the OR3 right there. You got short here and you kept the fraction for 0.1. That could have been 2R. This long here, conceivably we could get long right there. If you wait to get long here, when this crosses back below the anchored VWAP, we shouldn't be losing half an R on that. In fact, that's where we should be getting short because you have a high, a lower high, a momentary recovery above the VWAP, which immediately fails for a scratch, and then the PSAR flip. You should be short this all day long with a stop right here. And now you have this trade getting out about right there. So if that's your risk, this should be more than 2R on the downside. That's right by the numbers. And Boeing has been by far the worst symbol in the Dow 30. It's just been getting murdered. This is good work in Abbott Labs. I really love this re-entry here. After this little sideways quiet channel, I'd be thinking hard about a second position here. You're north of the VWAP, the PSAR solid. You got almost 1.5R in hand. And I'd be looking at this as a second re-entry. On failure to fail, it held well above the PSAR or the VWAP. And also, if that's your OR3, there's your short, or there's your short on a consolidation, and then it goes below the VWAP a second time. I'd feel safe with a second or with a entry short right there. You know, if that's the first leg where you did get short was on the, you were efforting the second leg down like a collapsing dragon. So that's fine. That's still good, but I think that's the one you got to look at. If not this, then certainly that. This one here is late. You've got a high, a lower highs. That's a screaming short. And it's crossing the Bollinger Band mean here. And the VWAP has been down all day. Bollinger Band mean has been down all day. That's a screaming short. That's the second position. And there should be a re-entry in here. You tried this long, you exited, you got short, and then you wanted to preserve 0.2, but that's your trade. This was very good. That's very good. But we got a couple of things to tighten up on there. George, the stop and reverse would have paid. I also think when this peaks out here, short of the VWAP, when this rolls over and it crosses the Bollinger Band mean in here, there's a short right here. And there's a long right here or right here. Standard moves. Yeah, and this one, I think, if I didn't say that's a short too. Big gap up, harsh sell, lower high, PSAR flip. Man, we got to smash that short. So here's the open. So here runs up, comes back, starts recovering. So it's that second leg. I like that. And then it failed. I think you could short that. Oh, you did? That's fine. And it actually That's a good exit. Yeah, that'd be tempting, but I've already sort of had a losing trade and a micro win. I'm probably done with it right there anyways. That's fine. Perfect. This is Brian on the Kiwi dollar. Perfect. Caught a two. Great exit at the skin of the dragon. There's caught a twos on the downside all the way the rest of the day. So we left some money on the table. This one, when this doesn't work right, you got this, and then it's going to start to, when that doesn't work right away, just get out right there. No sense taking the full R loss on that. We could even be short right there in a collapsing dragon. All right, let's take a look at the reports for today. Oops. Held on to yesterday's gains pretty well. That's the range, and then the close was right here. So we're within firing distance. That's actually a critical state for trading in either direction right there, being on the bubble like that. So we're going to be ready for a sharp move tomorrow. Yeah, that range compression and centering right at the PSAR. That means this thing can go either way easily. I like that the 5-day and the 3-day anchored VWAPs have reversed and are sloping up. We're stabilized at the 10 period anchored VWAP, and the 30-day anchored VWAP is right at the Bollinger Band mean. So that's good. Yeah, on the 30-minute chart, you see today was a nice consolidation day here after 2 days of gains, after 10 days of pain. So this is poised again for that move or that move. If it falls below 495, that's a huge short signal. But you got a couple layers of VWAPs in here as protection. We've made kind of a recovery move, still bullish volatile, risk off, violent volatility. Still a large number of auto framers ready to go. This is for Hamad. Boeing has been so bad that we've got to be able to exploit that on the downside if you're trading that one. Nucor Steel is weak. Coca-Cola very strong. Tesla will be definitely a mover tomorrow. No guarantee that that will be to the upside, though. Not much change in the ETFs. There's still plenty of auto framers. Lots of auto framers and squeezes. I especially like Brazil. Winter is dominating. The only bright light has been on finance with Goldman and American Express. Haves and have-nots today in terms of what's getting slaughtered. Boeing is just horrible. And that whole crew right there, if they're showing signals to the downside, you got to pound them. And there a couple of those are in XLI, which used to be strong, long term, but has really gotten bad. So that's a clear indication of be ready to short on weakness right there. Standard trading values, and today was just a bit of stability in the market. As we come back to the bottom of the river, and the z-score of the RL10 has come back to the low end of normal, and the 30 is at the low end of normal. So that makes this a critical state, ready to either recover like it did over here, which is this move, or it gets to here and collapses like it did from here to there. So that's why this is a perfect critical state. You cannot have a directional bias right now. Follow the price. All right, guys, that's everything for today. We'll get this published and posted. Thanks for your attention.